neighbors to the north. I know that you've probably watched the news. Pastor Arthur is a good friend of mine. He, of course, was the one that told the police to get out of his church. He's been arrested more times than any other minister in Canada. Now there are several other Canadian pastors that are being arrested. Is there any way we as America can start putting pressure on Canada to go after and target these churches? Is there anything that we can do to our neighbors to the north?
I wish I could say it was just our neighbors to the north.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we just seen a pastor arrested in London.
Yes.
Oh my.
And he was creating division and sowing hate because he was reading from the Bible and saying marriage of same sex is wrong. And they arrested him, put him in jail for the night. They released him the next day. That is in London. Unless our government and Washington would, through their Secretary of State, make those statements and those demands, it would be very hard as a state to do something. I will tell you, though, we are doing one thing as a state, and that is to stand up for Israel. And every single year, I try and run a resolution so I can be as public as I can. So it goes out in the heavenlies saying Tennessee is standing with Israel. But there's not much we can do to stop them in Canada.
I have a question or two. So I live in California, and by the way, my name is Johnny Diaz if I didn't mention my name right away, but I live in California, and we know that that's a liberal state, and I was, Lord willing, planning on trying to get some laws passed to where it'd be more Christian-based and Christian-centered, like especially when it comes to abortion stuff, and since they're so in a stronghold of democratic and liberalism, as a Christian, how would I be able to get laws passed or brought forth to the government over there, even though that their foundational stuff is based upon like pro-choice and abortion and stuff that runs along the lines with that? How would I be able to do that as a Christian to get those things brought forward to?
Johnny, that's a great question. Let me kind of walk through. I'm here in Tennessee, and I've been here for a few years in the legislature. I can't get the bills that I want through, even though we have a Republican Senate, Republican House, and Republican governor. I would think that life at conception bill would be one of the easiest bills that we could pass. Bible clearly says it's murder. Bible clearly says there's life in the womb. It is not some tissue that just randomly formed. And I've not been able to get that here. But in California, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you're familiar much with the book of Jeremiah, but I'm going to tell you, I would study that for a minute, and I would look at you as Jeremiah. And they call him the weeping prophet.
Right.
And here's what he did his entire life. He tried to call nation Israel, and they turned his back on him. And you're there in California doing the same thing. But I'm going to tell you, if you study the book, God was very plain and said, I'm going to be using those words against that people. And where you're at, not up for you to make that change, it's up for you to make that voice heard and let everybody be accountable to God. If there was a secret weapon to say if we could do this, this, and this, we'd get it done here. But I haven't been able to get it done here yet. All right, great question though.
Where's our war cry? We don't even know that we're at war. We don't understand that we're in hostile territory. This isn't the time for peace. Rock, Fasak.